Hello students, welcome to Vedyuk. I am your history mentor. As we know that in mid-18th century there were no nation state in Europe. As I told you that nation state is a country where most of the people follow the common language, culture and identity. For example, today's country like India, Germany and Italy. But in mid-18th century, no nation state were there. Instead of that, there was a kingdom ruled by kings. Germany, Italy and Switzerland were divided into kingdoms, duchies and cantons. Now, duchies are the area which ruled by duke or duchy people. Now, duchies are the territory which are ruled by duke or Dutch people, and cantons are the small part of big territory, whose rulers had their autonomous territories. If we see the example of Habsburg Empire, different types of people lived there who followed different culture, idea and different languages, so on. Habsburg Empire that ruled over Austria and Hungary was a combination of many different regions and people. Alpine region such as Tyrol, Austria and the student land also Bohemia, where aristocrats, that is higher class, were mostly German speaking. Habsburg Empire also have the Italian-speaking region of Lombardy and Venetia. In Hungary, half of the people spoke Magyar and rest of the people spoke variety of dialects. In Galicia also, aristocracy spoke Polish language. Now, dealing with all these dissimilarities, can these people think about the idea of nation state and nationalism? Many of you think that no, these people can't think about the idea of nation state. But actually, interesting thing is that with all these differences and dissimilarities, they came to know about the idea of nation state. But how does this happen? Do you want to know it? So let's see then. So the first topic is aristocrats and the new middle class. So friends, at that time, two types of people were in Europe. First one is aristocrats and the second one is peasants. But due to the industrial revolution, new class came into an emerge, that is new middle class. Aristocrats are the people who were socially and politically dominant in class. They own estate, property, both in the countryside and town houses also. They spoke French language for diplomacy and families are connected by marriages. But their powerful aristocrats were less in number. At the same time, peasants are more in number, but they don't have the powers like aristocrats. Then we have newly formed class, that is middle class. And this class is a working class. Their populations are industrialists, businessmen, doctors, teachers and so on. These peoples came with the idea of liberal nationalism. Now we know that how did liberalism came into being in Europe. So dear student, as I finished last topic with liberal nationalism, now let us try to understand what liberal nationalism stands for. Now let us try to understand what liberal nationalism stands for. It means end of aristocratic rule, government by people agreement, equality before law and the end of privileges. So now we can say this group support constitutional form of government. But there was a problem related to liberals. That problem was they demanded voting rights only for the men who had property, and women were denied. So the other groups like women started protesting in some parts of Europe against liberal. At the same time in Europe, traders were facing problems as they have to pay tax of 5% for 11 times from Habsburg to Nuremberg. Also, because of differences in currencies, merchants were facing problems for economic exchange. So to overcome this problem, Prussia formed a custom union named as Zollverein in 1834. Later, many German states joined this custom. With this union custom, taxes were abolished and reduced the number of currencies. Also, they promote the railway network, which were very helpful for merchants. As we have seen in our previous video that Napoleon ended the monarchy rule in various parts of Europe, so now it's turn of conservatives to beat the Napoleon. So how did this happen? To know this, let's see our next topic, new conservatism after 1815. So in year 1815, Napoleon got defeated in a war with conservative nation of Europe. With conservative nation of Europe like Prussia, Russia, Britain and Austria. So after defeat of Napoleon, these conservatives took all the power in their hand and bring back their command on Europe. Now conservatives are the people who want monarchy rule back. Conservatives believe that monarchy rule, church system, social hierarchies should preserve. Also they believe army, bureaucracy, feudal system can strengthen the aristocratic monarchy in Europe. Now, after defeat of Napoleon, Prussia, Russia, Britain and Austria met at Vienna to do the settlement of Europe, and this meeting was hosted by Austrian Chancellor Duke Metternich. This all congress were known as Treaty of Vienna in 1815. So according to that congress, Bourbon dynasty, which was taken over by Napoleon, it got restored and France lost its control on its territory. Now to prevent France from its expansion, new states were formed at the boundary of France. At the same time, Prussia got western territories, but the German Confederation of 39 states given by Napoleon, that remains as it is. In east side, Poland were given to Prussia and Austria took northern Italy, while Prussia takes some part of Saxony. Now, to spread the nationalism all over the Europe, revolutionary came into being with new fire. So let's see our next topic, the revolutionaries. As conservatives don't want nation state and constitution, so they started repressing the liberal, and because of fear of repression, many of liberals goes underground and they started their secret societies in many parts of Europe. As they want to spread nationalism in all over the Europe, a commitment to oppose monarchies and to fight for freedom and liberty came from liberals after the Treaty of Vienna. Italian revolutionary named as Giuseppe Masini, who was born in Genoa in 1807. And he was a member of Carbonari. Carbonari was a secret society. At the age of 24, Masini went to exile in 1831 for attempting the revolution in Liguria. Also, he founded two secret societies, Young Italy in Marseille and Young Europe in Berne. He believed that God has planned nation to be the natural unit of mankind. Also, Duke Metternich, who was an Austrian chancellor, he said that Giuseppe Masini was the most dangerous enemy of our social order, as he had that power to spread nationalism in all over the Europe. So, in this way, we have completed our next topic of chapter number 1, the rise of revolution in Europe. There are some questions which I have mentioned in the video. You can solve this with the help of textbook, and the rest of the topics we will continue in our next video. Till then, keep watching and keep learning. Stay tuned for next videos and updates. Thank you.